welcome folks to another showdown. It's a head-to-head in the Love Team Time Trial. We have 11 teams for you tonight, and the big news is that No Pins, Race for Art, will not be taking part. So a chance for the other teams to catch up. We'll have a new winner tonight. But let's see who the 11 teams are when we get into the racing. Should be some close battles, and here we go. So here are the 11 teams on screen as we speak. We've got many that we know, and there's a couple. TFC have changed their names to Degenerates, and that's purely and simply because TFC hope to bring somebody else to the party. Obviously we got the name change with NZ Bro. We've got Tamik here tonight and Beach DS. So we've got other regulars, but let's have a look at the map. Now you can see from the profile it's a little bit lumpy, but I don't think the profile is really going to bother the big hitters. I think it's going to be a strongman's course again. Up and down, but Rottnest Island, week 7. So this is the penultimate week, folks. We have one more week after this week 8, and then we take a bit of a break, I think, for 2 weeks before the finals. So still time to get in on the action, although time is running out now. 17.8 kilometer course, but I've been reliably informed. I thought this was a little bit short, but I've been reliably informed it's up and down, and so therefore it's not going to be as fast as what we get on the flatter courses. So we'll see what time these boys and girls manage to put in tonight. Should be a good battle. As I say, we're getting very close to the end of the competition. Most of the teams now are really finding the feet, are looking quite polished, and we'll have a countdown to how many members we've got in each team as we highlight them. I can see that West London are looking like they only have the 4 members, but who else have we got here? Let's go through them and we'll do a countdown on the different teams. So this is Tamik, and they have 5 riders starting the course. Now let's hope they can stay together. If they can remain with 5 riders, then that obviously is going to suit them better than if they have to drop riders later in the ride. Obviously only 3 riders need to count, but the more riders you can stay together with, the better chance you've got of the drafting and recovering. Pokemotion, they're also with 5 riders tonight. Now they normally manage to field a 6-man team, but we've got 5 again tonight, but a very strong 5 with Giles, Aluni, Linden, Edge and Samuel. So a very strong team here from Pokemotion. They've been running No Pins very close, so expect them to be in the running for a win tonight with No Pins not being here. More about why No Pins are missing as we go further into the race. Ciboire CCS, another very strong team, and again another team that are really fighting for top spots, and I think they're likely to give Pokemotion a real battle tonight. But again, only five members, so it's going to be a fair fight. The top teams are only fielding 5 rather than the 6, which we've seen in previous weeks. So yeah, it should be a nice tight battle. Let's see how that goes. OTR Black and another team of 5. So it's looking like almost all the teams tonight are fielding lesser squads. But I say lesser squads, you know, obviously it's better to have 6. But when you've got 5 riders, the strength of these riders, then, you know, they'll do well tonight. And obviously We have 3R True 2. Now they're fielding 6 riders and 6 very strong riders as well. Nice to see Jeffries here and Rasmussen. So they've got a couple more members in tonight that we haven't seen racing before. Luke Jeffries, nice to have him back, and obviously a couple of regulars here as well. So they should do well tonight. Beach DS, they've got 6 riders in. In fact, it looks like, have we got? Yeah, well, they've got 6 riders in, although one of them's dropping off the back slightly. But they may well stay together. They may well come back together. They're a polished unit. So we'll see what happens with this team as we go into the race. Hopefully they'll close up these small gaps and settle down a little. It's always a bit difficult at the start. You need to settle down. You need to get into a rhythm. OTR Blue, well, you can see that they're well polished and looking good, with Walker pulling them along on the front. And they're a 5-man team. So I expect OTR Blue to be giving Team 3R True 2 a run for the money tonight as well. But we'll have a better idea as we go further into the race. And we will have the 10-kilometre split, I think, later on. TFC Degenerates, as I say, this is TFC, but just renamed because we are expecting them to field another team later on. They're looking a little bit fractured at the moment. As we watch Snyder just off the front, you really need to be on the wheels, folks, in the team time trial. You don't want gaps like you're seeing here on the road, because that's just means you're not taking effect of the drafting, and it's much harder work if you haven't close gaps, as you can see this team doing here. And I've mentioned this in all the previous weeks, so this is something which I keep hammering on about, and it's very important. However, if you manage to get riders staying together and you get 1 or 2 dropped off the back, you know, it's okay, providing you end up with the 3. But the more you can stay together, the more chance you've got. OTR Green, another very polished and very experienced team now. They generally stay together right till the end, and then the 3 riders come over the line. But because they know the score, they've been here from the get-go, from the start. I don't think they've missed a week yet, so they really know what they're doing. So the big news, as I say, we just mentioned West London VR. Now, sadly, they're down to 3 riders. They seem to be struggling every week. I wish I was fit enough to sort of like give them a hand, but they're struggling every week to get riders. So if there's any riders out there that fancy joining this team and giving them a hand as we're coming in towards the final stages of the competition, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to have you on board. The Misfits, well, they fielded 4 members, but of course one of them riders has dropped off the back, Moni. Don't know why. Maybe he had a technical, or maybe just couldn't keep pace with these 3 lads. But these Misfits, they're down to 3 now, 3 riders now, and hopefully they'll all stay together. They look to be going well, so they're riding well together. I mean, Nick Hall experienced, as is Hawaii, Sunika. So yeah, nice to see them staying together. Okay, let's have a look and see who's making the running at the moment. We've got well, this is a bit of a surprise, I'll be honest tonight. This is a bit of a surprise because Beach DS are currently leading the standings, with Poker Motion following very close behind, and then with 3 teams all at the same point, OTR Black, 3R True 2 and Sibwa CCS. So there's going to be some, and in fact OTR Blue are not far off either. This is going to be a close battle tonight, I feel. Beach DS look like they're currently managing to hold the lead, and in fact it's going out to almost 150 meters, give or take. So they're looking good. We'll have here we go. Here's a freeway what we got here, we've got 12-7, 12-7 and 12-6. So Cibois and OTR Black neck and neck. 3R True 2 have just hit the 12.6. So this is very, very close, folks. There's 100 meters between these three teams, with OTR Black and Cibois fighting it out and True 2 just behind them. So this is a close battle. And obviously these two teams following on behind, NZ Bro, To Make and OTR Green, and that's the Misfits in the bottom corner as well. But Misfits are a little bit further behind, which you would expect. They've only got 3 riders, so they're going to struggle to maintain the same pace as riders with 4 and 5 members. That goes without saying, really. But it does look like NZ Bro Beach DS are holding their lead at the moment. Looking very strong, with Pokemotion not far behind. And we do know that Pokemotion tend to come strong towards the end. So they could well pull this back. But this team are looking well polished here. They're looking very good. And 6 members as well. All of them going into the red, as you can see. So they are really putting in a big effort here. Staying close to each other nicely. A little bit of a gap there, but they're closing it down. And the nice thing is, when you're 6 riders like this, you get more recovery, but also, you know, you can drop riders towards the latter half of the ride and still maintain a good high pace. Pokemotion, well, we know all about this team. They've been one of the stronger teams right from the start of the competition, and yeah, I think they're going to push close tonight. But they are steadily falling behind here, so maybe they need to stay together as a foursome. They were 5, but it looks like Giles has dropped off the back, so I don't know what happened there. OTR Black, True 2 and Cibois. Now they're very, very close together with 3R True 2, the last of these 3 teams. But when I say the last, there's only 100 meters in it, so this can go either way as well. Cibois CCS, they don't seem to be going as well as they've done in previous weeks. Or is it just that OTR Black are really putting the pressure on them? OTR Blue. They're a little way behind at the moment. They're not really challenging Cibois CCS at the moment. 150 meters, 200 meters maybe behind. Whereas these two, To Make and OTR Green, you've got almost the same, well, less than 100 meters between these 2 teams. So this is going to be a close one. Now, as I say, I think we will get the split as we come into the 10 kilometer mark, but then that's over the halfway point. So it should give us a good guide as to who's going to take the win. But I have to say, Beach DS are pulling out the lead now. It's almost 400 meters. In fact, it is 400 meters. So they are looking very strong as we watch Misfits here at the back. And they're struggling. They're just in front of West London VR, who are also only running the 3 required, as you can see. So it's going to be a bit of a battle between those 2 teams bringing up the rear, the Misfits and West London. And they usually do end up fighting amongst themselves, those 2 teams, because both tend to have difficulty getting the right amount of riders for the event. I mean, 3 riders, you're always going to be at a disadvantage. It doesn't matter how strong you are, the 3 riders. You're just not getting the same amount of recovery, and that's so important in team time trialing, which is why any team fielding 5 or 6 riders is going to have an advantage right from the very start. Now, Beach DS, they're still maintaining their gap, but Pokemotion have pulled it back to 300 meters. Then we've got OTR Black, True 2 and Sibwa, all within 100 meters of each other, so that's pretty close as well. And OTR Blue just off the pace there as well. So we've got 4 teams very close together, just off the lead as well. Some interesting and tight battles here. Now, just to explain, No Pins Race 3R, they're missing because they had a training camp in real life. So they weren't able to field a team for this event this week, which basically means that the other teams get a chance to pull up a few points on them because they won't score points in the overall. But to be honest, they've done so well in the competition, they can certainly afford to drop a result. It's beached as. Okay, beached as. What a strange name. Okay, as we're watching Pokemotion now, and again, as I say, they're not pulling back Beached as who are up front. They're managing to pull out the gap and maintain it. So Pokemotion really tonight are fighting for second place. OTR Black close on the heels, with True 2 and Sibwa also in the mix. Yeah, Pokemotion lost Nick Giles and then Christian Edge to technicals, so that's really, really bad luck. They're down to 3 riders. They've lost 2 of the stronger riders as well. I mean, they're all strong. This is a very strong team. But Nick Giles and Edge, it's just such a shame that they lost those members to technicals. Thanks for letting me know. I mean, there's absolutely nothing you can do when you have either a dropout or a technical. I mean, we call it a virtual puncture. It basically puts you on the side of the road, and in an event like this, you're not going to get back on because your team can't wait for you. If you have a dropout and it's anything more than a couple of seconds, you're not going to get back on. I mean, we did see a rider earlier in the competition come back from 800 meters behind, Stu Walker, but that was just absolutely amazing. But that's not going to happen with the likes of Nick and Edge tonight. So, and it looks like OTR Green they're 5 riders now, so they've dropped Murray off the back of themselves to make they look like they're fracturing slightly, but they've got 3 members up front with Pitar just off the back. He's coming back to them, so maybe they can get back together. But you don't want to be doing what Hans is doing here and running off the front of your teammates. It's just too much effort to get back on your wheel. You really, I mean, look at OTR Green. They're down to 4, but they're looking really nice, really polished. You should be staying close together. And again, you can see here the 2 riders up the front have left behind Chartrand. Now the time over the line is on the 3rd rider, so there's no sense in dropping one of your riders. You can see TFC here, 2 riders off the front, Chartrand and Deadpool, you know, a gap to them. They really, this is poor tactics. You ought to be on Discord, you ought to be sort of like working out what's going on here. I thought we had some audio from one of the teams tonight, but Chris Litt was asking, didn't Viper set a time? I'm not sure, Chris. I don't think we have a time for Viper tonight, but we'll find out when we go to the results. No, Damon's just confirmed with me, we don't have a time for Viper, so it's just the 11 you're seeing on the screen. So there's a chance for teams who are at the bottom to pull up a few points tonight. But I mean, I'll be honest, I do want to see all the teams taking part. I don't like it when we've got teams missing Okay, heavy breathing you can hear from TFC. That's because we're listening in now to their... I'll just let it play, but we're listening in now to their Discord server. Poor Deadpool. It's probably him that you can hear at the back here.
I'm back.
But he's back. He's got back on.
Afterburners.
There you
I don't know
go.
how much more I can keep doing with that, though.
So you can clearly hear them talking to each other.
In fact, I think that tanked me. Yeah,
he really struggled to get back with them, but they've dropped him again.
You guys just
this is what I mean about it being so hard, folks.
For good, that's fine.
There you go. You've got the audio from their Discord server. They're talking to each other. They've probably made a decision to leave behind Deadpool because he's just not able to stay with the pace, and that makes good sense at this point. With only 4 kilometers left for the front team. I mean, this is an amazing performance by Beach Daz. Purely and simply because I would have loved to have seen no pins tonight. This is as good as it gets. It would have been interesting to see them going head to head with no pins because they have been looking like they might really overhaul them. And on this performance, I can't wait till next week. This is a really solid ride, as Aaron is saying on screen. I mean, this is superb. Almost a full kilometre now. So they've not only opened up a gap, they've sort of like blitzed it. They really are. They've got this in the bag. I mean, they could almost stop pedalling. Pokemotion obviously are fighting it out with OTR Black and True 2. And Sibwa are there as well. So, yeah, it's... second place is not settled yet. It definitely, I mean, it looks like OTR Black may well get second place, but it's definitely not settled because True 2 are giving them a good run for the money as well. And Sibwa, we know that they can come good towards the back end. I'm a little bit surprised they don't look as strong as they have done previously. Sibwa, it's unusual to see them down in like 4th, 5th place. So, yeah, maybe they are just struggling a little bit. Now, here you can see OTR Blue. Poor tactics here, OTR. Come on, get your act together. You do not want to be dropping your third rider. The time is given on the third rider. You drop Maka off the back. There's no sense in this. Absolutely no sense. He's working like a Trojan. And the time on the third rider means you really need to get him on your wheels and pull him along. If he's struggling... Okay, I know I go on about this, folks, but this is the key tactic when doing a team time trial. Keeping your three riders together. Pronounce it like tu Meiki. Sorry, tu Meiki. Yeah, I'm sorry I struggle with pronunciation, folks. I'm a Yorkshireman, and you know, tu Meiki is yeah, a bit difficult. I mean, why can't they all have simple names like OTR Green? How difficult can that be? But it's good. It's good fun. I hope you're having the same amount of fun I am, because I really enjoy watching these battles. As we're looking again at TFC. Now, as I say, they dropped Deadpool. He went well off the back now. He's 400 meters behind. Couldn't stay with these three riders. And even these three riders, I think there's a bit of a difference in power output between them. But thankfully, they're coming together, they're staying together, as are the Misfits. I mean, we've got some experienced riders here. West London VR, I just feel so sorry for this team. purely and simply because they never seem to have a full complement, and they're always struggling to get riders. But they've turned up every week in, week out, which is, I just wish they could get a couple of more extra riders to help them out. So this is week 7. We have week 8 next week, and then we have a 2-week rest before we come into the finals. So everything to play for, but Beach Stars just look like they're in a different league tonight. I mean, they've pulled out well over a kilometre lead. They're just going from strength to strength. And look at the finish here, absolutely blitzing it. You can see the finish line up ahead. They are really motoring. I'm saying you can see it, it's round the bend. Sorry, I thought... here we go. In fact, it's a bit of a twisty course tonight. 200 metres to go. There's the banner. Yes, I thought I saw it. So there's the blue banner. And don't forget the time is on the third rider as we watch Jerdal absolutely blitzing it towards the finish. All finishing together. Well done, Beach Stars. Now then, who's going to come in second? Is it going to be Poker Motion? Wow, they have really pulled back. This back. It looks like Poker Motion are going to get second place, folks. They've really done a good ride. They, especially when you see that they're down to 3 riders. They dropped 2 of their riders, and they still managed to give this big lick. So well done, Poker Motion. I mean, it must be a bit demoralising when you do lose your riders. And they should finish all together. I don't see them splitting up here. I think they should finish together. They know the score. The time's on the third rider, so Samo is just jumping off the front slightly. But they may well put in a bit of an effort to get on his wheel. Yes, they are doing. Here we go. So they're a well-drilled unit. It's just a shame they lost one of the riders. They would have had a faster time had Nick managed to stay with them and help out with the drafting. Because drafting is key in team time trials. The more recovery you can get from that little bit of drafting, the faster you're going to go as a team. So here we go. Slightly apart at the end, but yeah, Linden comes over the line. Well done, Poker Motion. Now I think OTR Black are probably going to get the first. Yes, they are. OTR Black are going to get the third place. They managed to hold off the challenge from True 2. Not much in it though, so that's a battle to watch going forward. OTR Black and True 2, because True 2 are really coming into their own. Well done. And Ciboire CCS, surprised to see them down in, was it 5th place? In 5th place. So we'll have a look at the results. We didn't get the 10 kilometre split, but that's probably because of the shorter course tonight. Or today, depending on where you are. So OTR Blue coming in, they're really in the middle. They were never going to catch Ciboire CCS, but they're well in front of NZ Bro. So yeah, they've got this without really any difficulty. It's going to be a bit of a battle between the next 2 teams coming in though, because OTR Green are putting in a ride to finish. We're going to watch OTR Blue come over the line. Wait for your teammates, Barkley. Come on. Stay together. Yes, nice ride, OTR Blue. Well done. 3 riders over the line. So, who have we got here? It looks like NZ Bro are going to take this. Less than 100 metres, isn't it? Less than 100 metres. Both teams really pushing into the red. You can see the red numbers on screen as we watch the side by side. This is pretty close, folks. Less than 100 meters between them, but I think it's on the third rider, and the 3 riders have gone off the front, so they're going to get it. 3 riders have just jumped off the front. There we go. And OTR Green, you can see them coming around the bend now. They're finishing with 4 strong riders at the end. Good ride, OTR Green. Okay, and who else we got to come in? We got West London and Misfits to come in. They're still on the road, as you can see from, in fact, we've got, sorry, I'm forgetting TFC as well. So TFC over the line. Well done for a 3-man team. Well done, TFC. Then we've got the Misfits. So they're going to come in 10th spot. And West London VR sadly are going to bring up the Lantern Rouge spot, the last 11th place. So Misfits, no, you don't want to be jumping away, folks. Come on, wait for your teammate. The time is given on the 3rd rider, so if you pull him to, there we go, he's getting back on. Yeah, this is what you need to do. You need to stay on the wheels because the time is for the 3rd rider, and if you drop him off, then you're just going to lose a few seconds. Now obviously the seconds aren't going to make too much difference tonight, but there are times when those seconds will count. And ideally you want to be scoring the fastest time your team's capable of doing, so dropping a rider off the back is not a good tactic. But nice to see 11 teams finishing. Here we go. Watch how wide the 3rd man over the line. Well done. And West London VR. I mean, they look... Considering there's only the 3 riders from the very start, they look good, don't they? You know, it's just... They must be exhausted because it's a lot harder, folks, if you're not able to swap around, and you know these 3 riders won't all be capable of the same pace, and when you're down to 3 you don't have the luxury of being able to recover like the 6 or 5-man teams. So well done anyway to everybody that's finished tonight. Penultimate event, week 8 next week will be the last one until the finals 2 weeks later. Okay, so let's have a look. Did we get any turnarounds? Or yes, we did. You can see that at the 10-kilometer split, we had Cibois CCS in 4th spot. In front of True 2, and True 2 were able to turn that around and finish in 4th spot ahead of Cibois. So that's a pretty good turnaround. OTR Blue remained the same. Yeah, the other teams all remained the same. So the only switch around from 10 kilometers was Cibois and True 2. Now Cibois had 5-second gap at the 10-kilometer mark, but that was switched around to a 6-second deficit at the end. So True 2 actually turned around 11 seconds. That's pretty impressive. But the real story here was how fast Beach Stars went, because they over 1.5 minutes faster than Poker Motion. And would they have given No Pins a beating tonight? We'll never know. We've got to wait until next week. But next week's course, I hope it's slightly longer and it's going to be exciting, folks. I think with No Pins back and all the teams now starting to really find their feet, and in particular the NZ Pro teams, I think we're in for a bit of a treat. Anyway, that's it from me. We'll wrap it up there. thanks everybody for watching. We're just looking at the results here, as you can see on screen, with ProComotion taking the runner-up and the New Zealand Esports racing team, NZ Bro, taking the win tonight. Fantastic to see a new winner. I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast, folks. Everybody stay safe, take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.